because I was not expecting this, and now you're here. Hello.
Now I'm here. Yes. Rare one-on-one. Rare.
That is true. We occasionally talk to each other, but we don't ever call each other.
Yeah, first time.
First time
long time
caller?
viewer. First time caller.
Here, I will.
How you doing?
Look, that philosophy bro nearly took me out. Okay, I'm
That was
honest
painful.
with you.
Yeah.
That
I
was
hate philosophy bros. They're the worst. They're just the worst. Genuinely.
Like people were saying in chat, I don't mind philosophy. Like sometimes it could be fun, but when you use it
I like
that
it.
way,
No, I like the topic itself. I like reading philosophy. I like even talking about it with some people. But it's a malicious use of philosophy.
that's a great way to describe it. That's a great way to describe it. It's a malicious use of philosophy. Like it is not meant to be a better understanding or like a meta philosophy where you're sitting there going like, well, what's my place in the world? What could it possibly be? Like it is very much I'm going to word salad at you until you believe in God effectively.
Yeah, it's just it's not intellectually curious. It is just like a regurgitation. And like they are good at regurgitating the theory, you know, like they do know it at least. I can at least give them that, but God, they're insufferable.
Yeah. Speaking of insufferable, apparently I'm being put on the spot. So what am I?
Are you calling me insufferable?
I literally just said that I'm being put on the spot.
Okay. I mean, look, listen. Here is my disclaimer, and
okay.
I want everyone to listen really close, especially too old. Okay, especially too old. And anyone else who may be like, you know, my chatter and like maybe like agree with me. I want you to be very cool. Be cool, dude. Listen, I respect Raptor.
I'm a big fan of Lainey myself.
Yeah. Like I just want to have an open dialogue and share what I know, and then maybe you can retort with what your perspective is. And I just want it to be a learning experience for everyone. And no harm, no foul. I'm not gonna send you to the gulag or whatever, double tap you up back at whatever people say.
That's a very explicit example.
It's just some common Stalin tropes.
Okay, fair enough. Now, I my own disclaimer here. I will admit that a lot of my understanding comes from a black nationalist perspective. So from the BPP and all that. So it's very much, I would say, I guess in this example, incomplete. I do understand certain things. I do know certain histories, but I will admit that a lot of it comes from either a place of ignorance or not fully understanding, because there's certain things that are presented in a very I don't want to say non-generous, but like what's the best word I'm looking for?
Unflattering, maybe?
Unflattering.
Or...
Yeah, unflattering way. Like especially about Stalin. Like,
yes.
Don't get me wrong. Earlier today when I was going off on my own chat a little bit, it was very much look, nigga, people do, when you're put in a position like this, we got to consider all the context around it as well. And the BPP did, but they also went like, look, we can't, some of this isn't applicable to us. So they threw it out.
Sure. Oh, they just had ads, so we need to repeat our disclaimers.
Shit.
I just said, if you agree with me, like, I want you to just kick back. I've got it. Like, we're just gonna have an open dialogue, a respectful conversation. I'm not here to debate, to fight. I just want to sort of get on the same page. Maybe, ideally, is what. Oh, we're still in ads.
We're still in ads, yeah, but for another minute and a half.
Great.
Let me glaze you a little bit. Lainey, great streamer. They stream all night and sometimes play Stardew Valley. Can we get a shout out to Lainey, please?
Yeah, also now Eldon. So here's the thing. When you say stuff like, when there's such a horrible, conflict, no one comes out with their hands clean.
Yeah.
I understand, I think, what you mean, but the way it hits my ear, and probably a lot of other ML's ears, is that it's repeating sort of the double genocide theory, right? And for anyone who's not familiar,
I will admit I've never heard that theory.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's basically the equivalence of the Holocaust with the deaths in USSR from the gulags, or the theory really took off in the Baltic states and Lithuania, that the USSR was persecuting Jews, which, if you know anything about history, it's patently absurd, because the whole problem that Hitler had with communists was he colored them with being Jewish, right? Judeo-Bolshevik, communism. Like that. What was the primary contradiction? Like, they were fighting on that ideological basis, right? So, saying like everyone did bad things, it does really literally equate Hitler with Stalin as both being dictators, both doing a bunch of mass murder, holocausts, and Stalin literally fought against the Holocaust. He helped end the Holocaust, right? So
I agree.
This theory is like not new. It's very old. It started with the Nazis themselves, to try to like slander Stalin while they're trying to fight him. And then it got picked up by Hannah Arendt, who's you may have heard of. And she popularized it. More recently, it was repeated by Timothy Snyder and Jason Stanley. And the reason that they seek to perpetuate this theory is literally to minimize the evils of the Holocaust. It serves to like not only like demonize the USSR, right? But like, oh well, that just happens in war. Like, sometimes just millions of people die. You just like don't need authority, right? And the question is not does a state use authority, but what is the authority used to the end of, right? And the USSR was a dictatorship of the proletariat.
Okay, so to make sure that I am on the same page, I believe we're coming at it from the same spot. I'm not sure what the last thing you heard from me was, because my point of view was that I used a very specific example from an ML perspective, which was like the Holodomor. That it may not have been intentional, but it was still a genocide. Does that make sense?
Right. Yes, but like, we're talking about the period between World War I and the end of World War II.
Yes.
The entire literal whole world was starving. I don't think it's fair to blame Stalin or USSR policies for that.
Sorry. Let me explain a little bit, because there was I can immediately see that there was some stuff missed that I had already said, which was that while it was man-made, it may or may not have been intentional. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, just referring to it as the Holodomor in and of itself makes it assumes some intent, genocidal intent.
Okay, no, I think I understand it better, because like this is what we're talking about, the 30s, right? Like I think it was 1930 to 19. When did it end? 1934, I think.
I don't remember the years. I'm bad with dates.
No, it's okay, because I can also be really bad with dates. I'm not sitting here and going like, hey, this is they cleared it on purpose. Like I'm not trying to sit here and was counselor for Hitler. Thank you, Argon. I'm not sitting here going like, aha, clearly it was intentional. That's not my point. My point is that it still happened, and we should recognize that it happened. But that's not a thing where we go, okay, let's throw it the fuck out.
Well, no, we can recognize that that occurred. I mean, again, that there was mass starvation worldwide.
Absolutely.
Because that's how world wars kind of tend to operate, right? Like, because we already had sort of internationalized trade to some extent. Like, we did rely on trading with these nations that we were now at war with, right? And now they're sanctioned, and we don't do that anymore, right?
Yeah, I think. Sorry, can I interject here a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay, I think part of it is how it's presented, right? Because as you said before, was like how if we refer to it as the Holodomor, it is like the next big thing compared, like very much like the genocide of Jews, or however you want to.
The Holocaust, yeah.
Yeah, the Holocaust, right? I understand that it is how it is presented can be like a contentious issue. That's why I wanted to emphasize that while it may have been
and
go ahead.
Like, if you are concerned about, particularly the section of Ukraine that was implicated in the Holodomor, then you should be very concerned about, Stepan Bandera, a Nazi collaborator who literally helped the Nazis do the genocide in Ukraine, and Poland, and etc. Like that, he enlisted the Ukrainians in that fight towards Nazi ends. So there's now, like today, a literal holiday celebrating Stepan Bandera in Ukraine, and the legacy of Nazis being installed into Ukraine by the West just never left, right? It's just gotten worse.
Yes. I believe I understand what you're saying. Again, I don't want to... A lot of this is more educational for me than I get a lot of it is more educational for me. This is why I said earlier we can recognize that bad still happened, but we should understand like the underlying principles of like what our beliefs are, and work from there instead of wholesaling throwing ideas out. Pick the good from the bad. Because from what I understand is, that it is being presented as like a way to dismiss MLs. Oh look, they also have their own Holocaust.
Right, and this is often like from like leftists who fancy themselves as like libertarian as opposed to authoritarian, like that scale. That classic grid that everyone did the political quiz for.
The four squares, yeah.
But like that grid itself is it implies that you can be both a communist and authoritarian in the dictator way, and that's just not what happened.
Yeah, because communism is inherently a stateless, mindless society.
Right. I mean, so USSR didn't achieve communism, and
Absolutely. We
they say no one has, right? Like socialism is the road to communism, right? So you have communist parties within socialism, and you understand. That's a bit pedantic, I guess, to get into the weeds there.
It's not pedantic. It's good to acknowledge that like communism is the end goal rather than like what was achieved.
Right. And it wasn't achieved literally because of these infiltrating forces in the West, which are, the imperialists, they use military and occupation and coups, but they also use media. They use history books, like everything that you've ever consumed is slanted against Russia. Like, think about how many villains in media are Russian.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And like Commie Space Invader said, it's a process, not a state of being. Like it is to this level of being something that is moneyless, that is stateless, that is all these. I want to say all these other things. That sounds very dismissive, but like it is it is one of many stepping stones.
Right.
Same with being an ML. It is a stepping stone to communism, effectively.
Yeah, I think it can be a bit. I don't know. It's not like one day we'll wake up and suddenly it's communism, right? It's a gradual historical like progression, and that's why China makes like their 5-year, 10-year, 20-year plans, and they achieve them. You know,
yeah.
And they consult the people in the localities for what they want. I was actually just reading, I was watching a bit of a piece about Zhejiang and the relocation projects and how everyone who lives there was literally just thrilled to get out of their village, which didn't have electricity or internet or plumbing, and they were just happy to have, you know, a community center. They have literally something called a happiness center.
That
which
sounds
is
ominous
like,
as fuck.
No, it's great. It's lovely, actually. It's just like a rec center. Like,
I understand, but like just from my own experience, from numerous years of studying sci-fi and enjoying sci-fi, the Happiness Center is usually an ominous as fuck building.
No, it's literally wholesome. It's just like elderly people like taking like dance classes and stuff.
No, yeah, you and I understand that. I'm just saying from my exposure in sci-fi.
Yeah,
usually,
I mean,
it's like 1984. You know, the thought.
I mean,
piece.
that is an anti-communist novel. Literally, they did that to be anti-communist. I think that was the entire express purpose. And like, it's scary because like they force you to have a home and they force you to go to the happy center.
Well, okay. I guess my understanding of 1984 is different because of like how like the ending is, you know, where it refers to like the parties and all that in past tense. That's a whole other different thing. I would rather have like an actual book study because I haven't read it in fucking years. You know, I'd rather have a book club about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's been a long time for me too.
So it's
anti-authoritarian, not anti-communist. But that's the thing. It's equating communism with authority. Like that. They're not. Do you think George Orwell, the British man, was against British authority? Do you think he hated that? I don't think that's what he was talking about.
I tend to okay, maybe. I would agree anti-authoritarianism, but it's entirely possible he was equating. Again, I would need to reread the books. It's been fucking, how old am I? 34. It's been like 20 years since I read the books.
Yeah.
So like I would need to reread the books. So I don't want to sit there and like get down and dig down into this. You can still be anti-authoritarian, but also be anti-authoritarian communism. Like the two are not mutually exclusive. He could just be totally opposed to all authoritarianism. You know?
Sure.
Does that make sense to people? Like you can be, because authoritarian communism is also a thing. Like, aren't we? I'm pretty sure we see that in some modern. I don't know if modern is the correct term. No, okay. Maybe I am just equating certain things in my head. That could be wrong in my way, you know.
It's also a snitch for the British cop.
That's
Curious.
Because I know there's like concerns of what's it called? Authoritarian of the proletariat? Is that a
dictatorship
term?
Dictatorship of the proletariat?
Dictatorship of the proletariat. Like I know there are people who are also concerned of that, even though it is kind of a misnomer from my understanding of it, because the dictators of the proletariat is just the workers having control of things.
Right. I mean, We do need authority. We need authority to maintain control over forces which will still exist even if we have a successful revolution. There will still be capitalists. There will still be people with capital. Like we need to have the forces to reappropriate that capital and seize it, right? So like that is authoritarian. If right? Is it not?
At some point, it would be considered a dictatorship of the proletariat, but it is still very much, the common people having control instead of a family or one dude having control of it.
Right, and Stalin didn't have total control.
True. I think there's a lot of conflating of certain things. Because it is like because I remember, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that Stalin did adapt ML, but also I don't want to say manipulate it. 'Cause this is where we get Stalinism from, like the official political position, quote unquote. I'm not sure.
Well, it's not really an official position, Like the parties still called themselves ML. They were, the Marxist-Leninist Party, Revolutionary Party.
Yeah. I understand. But like, I guess I'm just trying to. Perhaps I'm conflating some things here.
So here's the thing: is I think a lot of people misunderstand. Marx and Lenin didn't actually make prescriptions about what it would look like when we did succeed in a revolution. They didn't know what a socialist society could look like because it hadn't existed really yet. I agree, like yes. They made some conjectures, but they didn't prescribe anything like legit, like bar for bar, right? Like, it wasn't a recipe. And so I guess you can call it Stalinism because he's the one who like first enacted like a hardline ML policy in the party. But
that's kind of that's what I was trying to get to. Sorry, which was that the reason that these things exist is because other people prescribed like Stalinism, I guess is the best way. They prescribed the term Stalinism to it.
Right. Yeah. And like that, if it's basically like, again, like making that demonym, which is like a, nickname for a thing. It's like saying Hitlerian, making it about the man himself and, his own unique choices, which he wasn't making unilateral decisions ever, and
because he
didn't
have complete control of the party.
Right. He also tried to resign several times, and the party rejected it. They said, "No, we want you to keep leading the party."
Yeah. So so it is I think two old hats right here that it is a linguistical attack on genuine understanding, which does tend to pollute a lot of things because This is why I personally will say things like saints and sinners, because I understand that not everyone is squeaky clean. My own knowledge is going to be tainted from what I am also able to understand and what I have understood in my readings.
Can I get a little philosophical for a minute? If it's a universal truth that no person is infallible, we all make mistakes, then what exactly is the purpose of pointing out Stalin's mistakes in particular?
Me personally, I will absolutely point out mistakes in the past so that I do not repeat them in the future. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And if someone goes like, "Oh, you are repeating," I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. Give me an example, I guess.
I mean, I think it's more dangerous to repeat State Department propaganda points.
I agree. I agree. But this is why I'm also open to getting critiqued about this. So I guess going to an early example with the Holodomor, or I guess I'm not sure how to a better way to phrase it. Can you give me a better way to phrase it?
I guess a famine is the most, literally just a famine, because everyone was in a famine.
Yes. Would a better way to phrase it is how his party handled the famine? Is that a better way to phrase it? Sure. Because Stalin didn't burn the grains, right? Like Tool said, so I'm trying to think of a better way to phrase it, like how his party handled the famine.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to just material conditions, there was just millions and millions of Russians starving, so there wasn't exactly the infrastructure to not only recover from the First World War, right, but then enter a second one against the Nazis, and recover in between, which was a short period,
Yeah,
and this is still the very beginning of the USSR, where they're still fighting against the Tsarists. You know what I mean?
No, yeah, that's why I'm asking. What's a better way to phrase it? That's kind of why I'm asking. I mean, what's a better way to phrase it?
I think just famine.
Okay, yeah, just the famine. We can actually say just the famine of 1930. I can phrase it that way, and how people think, how people went about that. There can be and there should be criticisms, in my view, of how it was handled, right? Because so that I do not repeat those same mistakes in the future, or any mistakes in the future.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at I guess the failures of how the famine was handled, but you could also look at the fact that the USSR built 200 cities from nothing, literally from nothing.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The end product of the USSR was a bunch of people being brought out of poverty and their material conditions improving. That is the project that socialism seeks, right? Is to
absolutely.
Oh shit. to eliminate poverty.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I just dropped my wine glass.
I feel like what I'm saying may not be interpreted in the best way, and part of it might be because how I'm phrasing things. That's my mistake, right? I'm not.
I just want to be very clear.
No, I get you. Yeah, no, I get you. I'm trying to find the best way to phrase it, right? Because I admit that my knowledge is very spotty on the USSR. And like I said earlier, a lot of it comes through through black nationalist understandings of everything. Because we can fully admit capitalism and prejudice in that way is absolutely going to be the baseline issues on a lot of things.
Yeah.
And there are criticisms that I have which taint my view of how the USSR was handled. But that we understand that my opinion is going to be different than the actual facts of what's going on,
Yeah.
That's kind of my view. I think someone posted just a whole fucking thing in my chat about Spain's
posting.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't. I think it's more education. To be clear, Stalin's regime was structurally centralized, something that I inherently disagree with. For example, the leading core of all organization of the working people, both state, in operations practice, supreme policy and economic decisions were centered within the party Politburo, and I have never seen these words before. Politburo and Gosplan, and Stalin attempted to resign were calculated maneuvers and political theater. Initially, the force his rivals to politically express confidence in him, and later as a
the theater of literally submitting an actual resignation letter several times in earnest. Like, what is the theater there? The party has total power to revoke him. What do you mean? Like, that's the purpose. Like, they didn't even have to have a resignation to revoke him. They could have just done that. That's how parties work.
I think Schlongi is better understanding like what my position is, which is the question is whether his situation could have been handled better, given the knowledge available at the time. Does that feel more generous?
Could have been handled better. I mean,
given the knowledge at the time.
Like, what would you do exactly? Like, literally, like, what materially would you do differently? If you don't know enough about Stalin and what he did, then you can't really say, right? And so, like, I would genuinely, please, like, I just would love if people actually read the collected works of Stalin. Just give it a brief overview. You don't have to read it all. Just read one or two. You can genuinely get a feel for like how he operated and like what happened. Like, it's literally just so granular and so very detailed. Like, you don't... There's very few questions to ask after you just simply read Stalin. But, like, I guess that's authoritarian propaganda or something, so
well, no, I'm not gonna say that, like, it's authoritarian propaganda. Because there are things that I just haven't read. I will full-on admit that. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I will absolutely
expect everyone to,
yeah.
You know, I highly recommend it. And like, even if you come out of reading the entire works of Stalin and you still hate him, I would love to hear why. You know, I would love to hear what it was that you disliked that he said, in particular.
Yeah. No, I know. There are. I know. I think some people actually listed some of my complaints earlier. Let me go real quick through chat.
Yeah, Domenico Losurdo is also a great read.
Like, I believe, first off, let's full on admit that a lot of country was raised on CIA propaganda of Stalin. Like the Cold War, an actual thing, and that probably colored a lot of what I'm talking about. And I fully admit this. Right? The books are free. Awesome. I'll have to check them out. A really good example was reading from people on the ground, like the average citizen, than the people in charge. Does that make sense?
Sure. Do you have an example?
No, that's something I would rather read from those people, right? Because there's what what policies are presented as, and then how it actually affects people on the ground. You know.
Right, but like we have material numbers, like the cities built, the infrastructure.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Like it's just one of those things that personally I would like to read. You know, because you are correct.
Sure.
Like on straight numbers, it is what he did was awesome. Am I making sense with what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of sort of an example. I mean, there were lots of people in the party that participated in writing for their publications, so that's a good place to start. Like the archives of the USSR are like they were made public in I don't know, 2000 something or something. No, 90s. I don't know.
You said
at some point,
of the USSR, correct?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can just read those primary documents.
Do you mind sending them to me?
Yeah. I can find that.
Okay, because like I looked up and I found a couple of them, and I want to make sure that I have the same I guess access information as you, You know?
Yeah, I don't have it on hand, but I will.
No, I'm not asking you. Sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like you have them on hand. Because again, this is a lot of knowledge that I just don't have.
Yeah,
But
and like so even
go ahead.
Even a lot of Western academics, like capitalist academics, had to admit after the archives were opened that the double genocide theory is bullshit. That Stalin didn't do genocide, like he wasn't guilty of genocide.
Yeah, no,
especially like leading Holocaust scholars will deny this because it's a form of Holocaust revisionism.
Yes. This is why I said it earlier. Stalin didn't burn the grain. He didn't order the grain to be burned, right? Like I was trying to get. I think I was trying to get to that point. I might have fumbled it. that's my fault.
I get you.
I
get you.
Which is like I'm pretty sure I believe it was capitalists who were burning them. I could be incorrect there. But like that's why I'm saying there is, and I fully acknowledge that my knowledge is kind of fucked because I understand there's a debate between it being intentional or non-intentional. You know,
these were kulaks who were resisting like the nationalization of the grain, which Stalin was doing in order to feed people. Right? He was nationalizing everyone's farms so that he had the means to feed everyone during the famine. The kulaks. Yes. Capitalists didn't like that, right? So they're like, "Fuck you! I'm gonna burn my shit."
Okay, so like that's some of the stuff that I wanted to read up on because I didn't know, and my knowledge and more or less ends is that it was an event that happened, and that there's a debate on if it was intentional or not, or if it was a downstream effect of policies being implemented and people. I guess you said kulaks.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, he spelled it here in chat. It's Kulak.
Yeah, so like that's kind of where the equivalent of petit bourgeois. Okay, like that's kind of where I was trying to get to. Like, was it because of the kulaks? Like that's why I was asking. It wasn't like a oh you're wrong situation. It was very much all I know is that there was a debate going on about it.
No, yeah, it's important to know why it actually happened, right? And like, of course, capitalists would want to bury like the history of why this actually occurred. And like, if they talk about it, they're going to talk about, oh, well, they were violating their right to private property.
Yeah, and as Kame Kiwan close,
fuck you.
There was really unfortunate weather that happened also around that time. That's why I wanted to bring up that it is a
right. Like the Dust Bowl was happening at the same time here, or like
like was it was it a side effect of everything happened? Or was it intentional? Like that's what I'm saying. It was an event that clearly happened, but the cause of it is debated. Lady Badash, I believe, asked, or no,
7 million deaths. Oh my god.
Laphmus Fish brought up. Would you mind bringing up Lenovsky and Lenovskyism? I don't know what these are.
Lysenko.
Lysenko
is
okay. I don't know what they are.
It's fuck, I forget who Lysenko is too. I don't know. It's like a school of thought. I don't fucking remember.
Trofim Lysenko?
Sure.
I don't fucking know. I'm just asking.
I'm not familiar that much. I should know. It's something I should know, but I don't know about Lysenko very much.
No, that's perfectly okay. Like, I wanted to make sure that, like, because I don't fucking know what it is, so I'm asking just in case. But there were put there by Stalin that was anti-science.
Oh, he sounds like a eugenicist. Is that what's happening here? Mendelian genetics in favor of what? I'm sorry, what's happening here?
Stalin personally edited a speech by Lysenko in a way that reflected his support for what would become known as Lensokoism, despite his skepticism of Lysenko's assertion that all science is class-oriented in nature. The Red Scare propaganda, I'm assuming the Soviets didn't harm people on purpose. That's Slongy. That's kind of my point. That's kind of the point that I'm getting at, is that I don't think that I don't believe the Soviets hurt people on purpose, right? I don't believe that they were all communists, but then again, I also don't fucking believe a lot of parties are, super flawless. He was a super incompetent pseudoscientist that Stalin brought the bullshit up and put into power, and it caused massive damage through his actions. Yeah, Stalin made mistakes by empowering Lysenko. Okay. I don't know enough about it. I would love to do more reading on it.
Again, I don't know that that's a decision that Stalin had the power to make by himself. Like, everyone says, like, oh, Stalin's right-hand man. He loved him, so he installed him. That's not, again, how elections worked inside the party.
As Argonian Bum says, there was a party that had none of the ideology of communism, but called themselves Communist Party, and used a hammer and sickle in Sharonka that was pretty sus. True. I'm out?
I think Adric's mad at me. I don't know.
I couldn't... You also remember the treatment of Romani people, because clearly I'm not talking about the turn that took. Forced assimilation, kicked out, murder, labeled as harmful to others. Stalin was bad to Romani people. Okay, I didn't know this. The USSR was not nice to Romani people. I believe it. I'm not sitting here going that's not true.
Yeah, I don't know about this at all. Literally, what are we talking about?
Was largely marked to a cohesive assimilation, suppression of their nomadic traditions. Well, no, that's not really a source, no, is it? Because I know my history. No one is saying you're wrong. No one is saying you're wrong.
I am.
Okay.
But that's, it's your chat.
That's fair. I don't know enough about it, because I know in the 1920s they were classified as a minority, right?
Right.
And getting it covered as well. I would love to read about it. I know there's deep-rooted history against Romani people. I would love to read about it. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Because I know there are Russian Romani people of territorial freedom that the USSR handled poorly. Okay. I just... Guys.
Territorial freedom. There were like 350 ethnic groups living under the USSR. Happily. I don't... Like, what... Am I saying that there was never any racism? Of course not. Like, they were literally coming out of Tsarist Russia. Of course there were reactionary forces. Obviously there were. Yeah. Yes. That's, again, not unique to the USSR. And it's like, I don't know, seems like we should focus on the primary contradiction, which is imperialism and colonialism coming from the West. The Western Nazi forces.
We can be mature about this and address a lot of this, because there's stuff that I don't know, y'all. There's stuff I don't know. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm saying, hey, I would like to know more. Like, there's that's all I'm saying. And Spades is just quoting Holodomor again.
Spades got ChatGPT up. Tell me why the streamer's wrong. Tell me why the streamer's wrong.
I'm not even saying tell me where I'm wrong. I'm asking, I would like to know more. Because, sorry, go ahead.
Spade is only here because I'm talking about Stalin. Like, that is literally... anytime I talk about Stalin, Spade's there like, no, you're wrong. No, you're wrong. That's literally the reason.
Okay. Like my point has been, Stalin sees the seed stalk, cry, I guess. You didn't address? Okay, where the sources, citations. Okay. Let me look through here for citations. Not you. The History Place, a global community of historians.
I mean, I literally said, Emergent, at the beginning of this conversation, I'm here for an open, casual conversation, not a debate.
No, it's a general conversation, Emergent. That's all it's been, because there are things that I don't know.
I don't know everything either. I'm very happy to admit that. What I do know is that directly after we, quote unquote, beat the Nazis, the U.S., that is, we immediately pivoted to, what is it? Anyone? The Cold War. Yeah. Which was directly anti-communist. It was literally to destroy not just the USSR, but the entire Soviet bloc, every communist project that was aligned with the USSR. And, it was devastating to every socialist project across the world when the USSR fell. I mean, it was illegally overthrown. Like, it was literally illegally dissolved.
Yeah, and no one here is denying that the Holodomor is man-made. Like, my entire point being is that there are people that are going like, was it intentional or not? That's been my entire point. Because there is...
I mean, it was intentional on the part of the farm owners. Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean is, like, was it intentional to spiral the way that it did? Does that make sense?
No. I mean, Stalin would have much preferred that the farmers just gave the grain so that we could provide rations to people, right? Like, that was the reason that he was nationalizing the grain, so that he could give it to people to eat. But the capitalists wanted it as a form of capital to, extract profit.
And understandable, because that is what capitalists do. Like, they want to extract as much capital as possible from people. That is just how it is. Yeah. I guess I'm trying to make sure that you don't feel attacked by any of this. Because I'm personally asking, because I don't know this. I don't know a lot of this stuff. I know, policy positions and how they are interpreted through a Pan-African lens. But that's like the extent of my knowledge, right? Same reason
I'm curious, why... I'd like you to just flesh that out a little bit more. One, because I have to go to the bathroom, and two, because I'm not familiar with what the Pan-African perspective on all this is at all.
Yeah. So a lot of it is gonna. Sorry, I don't want.
I'm gonna listen, but go on.
Go to the bathroom. That's fine. So a lot of it is how I guess to boil it down is the best way to put this is through the Black Panther Party lenses, right? The Black Panther Party is inherently a Marxist-Leninist Maoist party. Not everyone agrees with those labels because, as I brought up earlier in my stream, they are people that have... we are people that have chosen what is best for our intercommunalism and best to push back against capitalism and imperialism and enforce survivalship programs and self-defense. So that is where I'm saying, because the BPP did a lot of reading, and they translated a lot of it through a African lens or a African American lens. So the 10-point program is a very, not narrow understanding, but very boiled down understanding. Because we got to remember, the Black Panther Party went from a black nationalist party to a rainbow coalition to ultimately revolutionary intercommunalism. They recognized that they were not able to effectively address everyone's needs, and instead encourage people to speak up for themselves when it came to their needs. They were, no worries, I just got disabled. Wasn't that rude? You did fine, because I just got disabled. That makes sense. Mao introduced different philosophies, which is why, as a caveat, people tend to do in Q&A spaces, Marxist, Leninist, Maoists. Yes. We're free. You are free. Just remember, this is just a discussion. This is for everyone's knowledge, right? This is for everyone's knowledge, and this might be a conversation that we need to revisit when there has been more reading, But the Black Panther Party was for Pan-African liberation. I think I've posted this in my chat before, but I'll do it again. From the Freedom Archives, for the ideology of the Black Panther Party, right? It is the Black Panther Party never hid behind language. They never hid behind like a Vanguard Party or anything like that. They used Marxist, Leninist, and Maoism as a framework for how they are being treated in the United States. Welcome back.
Thank you. This is interesting.
Does anything I say make sense to you?
Yeah. I love Mao myself, so I don't find much divergence. But maybe is there like an anti-Dengist strain that there does that mean anything to you?
Entirely possible. It is entirely
okay. So
possible.
Do you hear a lot of talk about China is sort of capitalist? The opening up was a mistake and it didn't serve China, something like that.
Honestly, I haven't. That was taken. No. Too old. Remember, the Pan-African lens isn't from Africa. It is of those of African descent amongst the diaspora. That's why it's Pan-African. That's where the term Pan-African came from.
Right. It's not like across Africa. It's like international diaspora.
Because we were stolen. Diaspora, excuse me. Thank you for correcting me. Because we were stolen and we were sold across the world. But ultimately, anti-blackness is global.
Mm-hmm.
So that is where Pan-African comes from. Mao family,
interesting.
Whatever,
okay. So, what do you think about anti-blackness in China? How does that manifest?
Oh, it is absolutely a thing in China. It's absolutely a thing across the almost, I want to say Pacific sphere, but I'm not sure if that's the correct term. It is absolutely a thing that occurs globally. It is less prevalent, I guess, in China is a better way to phrase it, but it's because we are viewed as something exotic, I guess is a good way to phrase it.
Okay. I do think
well, Paige, the reason they say the N-word is because they don't the understanding of what the N-word means is going to be different across the sphere. A black person from America will know that nigga is what nigga means. But somebody that is not raised around that is not raised with American education, will not understand.
It was a meme that Show himself encouraged because he just heard it in it's a phoneme in Chinese, what we hear as the N-word. That doesn't mean that. It's like a suffix that is it just means something else entirely. And then he was like, "What did you call me?" And then it just like he made fun of it
okay.
himself.
I went to go look it up. There is Negi, I think it is, but I get what you mean. Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
yeah.
it's a filler word. Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
Again, like, I'm not saying there is no anti-blackness in China. Maybe that exists. I do think that, like, America's current and history of slavery and racism it's one of our main exports, right? Like, we very much instill this attitude across the world as we export a lot of media, right?
True. Especially since, like, America's primary export of, like, media, or not media, but, like, of culture is going to be black culture. Things like rap, hip-hop, like, our style, our sense of style is all going to be translated across the world. Mm-hmm. The West needs to export and sustain anti-blackness. True. Right.
Yeah. Whereas, like...
What's in the jars? What's in your jar, by the way? If you don't mind me asking.
Jar? Oh, this? It's a bunch of keef.
Fair. All right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm out of weed, so I'm just smoking on that keef.
Fair. I hope you don't feel, like, attacked by anybody in here or anything.
Oh, no, I'm used to it.
Well, that's not what I'm trying to say, though, right? Because I do want this conversation to be educational and that too. Because like I said, my understanding of all this comes through a black lens, right? And obviously, your understanding is going to come through a white lens. So it's going. Please name any attackers. Did I missed something? Like, that's what I'm saying, or that's what I want this conversation to be an understanding of. First and foremost,
Yeah.
Because I'm lurking in your streams often. I try not to make my presence known because I know if I do, it's gonna, like, trigger something.
What, you don't like it? You don't like the auto shout out?
Sometimes I don't want to be perceived. Sometimes a nigga just wants to learn. All right.
That's fair. I just want everyone to know that they should follow you because I like your stream. I do.
Oh, I like your stream too. That's why I'm talking to you about this and why I shout you out anytime you show up. Like, I
appreciate you.
And I know
I don't feel
okay.
I certainly don't feel attacked by you. I think there's just certain hardline anarchists, and you know what? I love you. I love you anyway. I'll still love you, and I will still advocate for a dictatorship of the proletariat to protect your interests, even if you don't want me to.
Oh, I will admit that I am a hardline anarchist, right? I fully admit that, but mine is not so much there should be no hierarchy. Mine is absolutely the hierarchy should come from within, and should be a learned hierarchy or a learned democracy. Everyone should know what's going on. Everyone should have a voice, Like, and if you don't know, if someone doesn't know...
That is, like...
Sorry, go ahead.
We kind of agree, though, because, like, that is how socialist parties work. That's how the Communist Party of China works. That's how the USSR worked. That's how the Workers' Party of Korea works. Like, it is much more horizontal than you imagine it to be.
Absolutely. And somebody pointed out earlier, black anarchy or anarchism is going to be different than white anarchism. First off, we're not nearly as crusty. We like to lotion ourselves, okay?
Yeah.
But, like, I guess that should be a definite thing that we emphasize here, is that there's going to be an inherent difference of how we understand things, because, you're not a cis bi black man,
True.
So, like, I wanna definitely emphasize that, like, our understanding of shit is going to be inherently different. That's why I also encourage these conversations. But go ahead, sorry.
I think, like, it is obviously different, and I value...
I just saw women be moist and fucking... Sorry, go ahead.
True. No, it's true. Women keep themselves moisturized. It is different, and I value different perspectives. And like, I don't mean to come in here as some sort of like authority figure.
I understand. That's why I wanted to have a discussion than more over a debate. There's another nigga I would debate about all this, but not you. Like, chat needs to stop being funny for one. Lainey isn't cis bi black man because Pride Month is over. No other reason.
Yeah, that's it. I just was yesterday, but
absolutely. But that's why I wanted to have a conversation about a lot of this, because like there's shit that I don't know, like, and I fully admit this, and I would rather hear about it from you and get like an area that I can start with, because I'm aware that the knowledge that I would go seek is already going to be tainted from a capitalist lens.
Right. And I refrain from telling people, like, oh, just go Google it. Why don't you just go Google it? Because, like, yeah, you're just going to get, like, the anti-imperialist lens, like, affirmed for you, basically. Like, your biases are going to be affirmed. Yeah. And so, yeah, like, I do recommend that Domenico Lacerdo book, History and Critique of a Black Legend. It goes into all of the history of Hannah Arendt, and Western anti-communists. So it does give you like sort of like both sides, you know. It gives you Stalin and then it gives you Hannah. Like you get to see like a historical like snapshot basically of the discourse, and to me it's very clear which is the right side.
Is this the one that was just sent to me? Okay,
yeah,
I got it.
Link.
Oh my god! You want me to read fucking 400 pages? What the?
Yeah,
fuck?
It's on Larry's YouTube. He read it, so it's like an audiobook kind of.
Fair.
So you can go to Juju Gang YouTube.
I have it up right here, Chad. I need to read. I probably need to get it in audiobook, but I mean, like that's also why I shared like my own, which is the ideology of the Black Panther Party, because it is, despite everything, a black interpretation of Marxist-Leninism, Maoism. That is my understanding of it, because it's the experience that I've had in America. Obviously, that's going to be different from you, as well as the same knowledge that I've had exposure to. That's why at the very beginning I wanted to emphasize, like, hey, my understanding is directly through a black lens. Like,
right. Yeah, and mine is, you know, primarily through just like a theoretical lens, a Marxist-Leninist, a Jucheist lens, I guess.
That's good. And I view both as valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. Yeah.
Because if I can get somebody else's interpretation of what's going on, and it's still there's a reason why I tried to go for like a big tent approach in things, instead of going, if you don't believe the same things that I do, get the fuck out. Like I don't believe in that shit, because on the base level we agree on the same shit. You know, we have the same ideology from the get-go. It just branches into a different direction.
Yeah, I mean,
it may not even branch into a different direction. Maybe it may literally be the same shape, but just be defined through our lens. You know. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I
mean, I was interrupting you technically, but I do think we have ultimately very similar goals. Like the end goal is the same. We primarily differ on our paths to get there, and that doesn't mean that we can't work together on our unique paths. You know, I'm never going to turn away an anarchist because they want to do a mutual aid project or like a startup in their community or like whatever it is. I'm gonna be there to help you to do that too. And we can certainly work together on most things at this stage. It's anti-fascism, baby.
Yeah.
At this stage, I think we should focus on that.
Even beyond the anti-fascism, it's still the same direction, especially from a black lens. Like, we're still going the same way. Just our interpretation of things are going to be different. That's why I do take a Rainbow Coalition approach, which is acknowledging that your understanding is going to be different than my understanding, but we have the same goal, and we understand the same problem, and we can discuss everything else because hopefully we're mature adults.
Right. And like, that is the ideal. And like, I think, if we're talking about organizing IRL, then it's much less of this, like, minutia of theory and history kind of thing, and it's much more, direct action, kind of planning the next meeting, fucking like planning the agenda of what you want to accomplish. Like,
yes. See what I mean? It's the same. It's the same direction. Right now, we're just having a conversation about history, and we're talking about a dead white nigga. Like, I don't give a fuck about him at the end of the day. He's dead. Like, I care about like how you interpret his words, but that's because I like you, and I want to understand your understanding of things.
Right. I just man, like, for whatever you think you can learn about Stalin's failures, I think there's so much more to learn about what he did right, and like his successes.
Absolutely.
And how we can replicate them. You're looking about Charlie Kirk. No, yes. Stalin.
Look, we carry the flame. Don't worry about it.
We carry Charlie Kirk.
All right. Yes, yeah, I get what y'all... Look, realize y'all talking to a black man, all right? I'm going to call him white because in the grander sphere of things, he is considered white.
I mean, he looked white. He was Georgian, which was like at the time it was a colonized community, same way like the Irish are colonized. Still.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to be black or brown to be colonized, right? Like,
you don't got to be black or brown to be colonized. But like my understanding is coming from an African American point of view. I'm a brother, so like if you look white, you're gonna be treated white by the system. Granted, Stalin isn't exactly treated white. Yeah, he isn't exactly treated like a white man.
No, like they literally called him Jewish as a slur. Like,
see, I didn't know that shit, right?
Yeah,
like I didn't know that shit.
They thought that it was a Jewish plot to take down the West, and the communists were collaborating. And it's kind of the same thing that Nazis say today, right? Like how they say. You know what they say.
I do know what they say. That's part of the reason why I'm kind of what's the right word? I almost said divisive. That's not what I mean.
Conflicted?
Not conflicted. Fuck, what's the word? Reductivist. That's the word.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even though on a cognitive level that I'm aware that he wasn't treated as a white man would be. Posthumously white, true. That's actually a very good way to phrase it, B-Rad. Like, posthumously, Stalin's considered white. He's not.
It's interesting because, like, if we're saying, like, we're talking about etymology and being a bit pedantic again, the Caucasus Mountains are in Russia. So, like, they are the whitest, objectively.
True. My phone just died. Oh, shit. I need to go plug this shit in. Anyway, like we understand, hopefully we understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's good. Go ahead.
I can't, like, just immediately jump into your shoes, but I can imagine why like you would have questions about like the Holodomor or whatever.
Yeah, that's why I tried to start this with just like hey, I understand that my understanding of history is flawed. So this is just a discussion. I'm not gonna debate fucking anything. This is my understanding of things. Cause look, I ain't a debate, bro. You saw me philosopher. You saw me lose my shit when I'm covering a philosophy, bro. Like, that ain't who I am. There's only a few people that I'll sit there and I'll debate, bro, into submission, right? Like, I respect you too much to try and debate, bro. I'm very much hey, I need to understand where the fuck you're coming from, you know?
Yeah. No, and I genuinely wasn't that nervous. I hope you weren't nervous in the lead up to this because, like, no, I wasn't coming to yell at you, and like, I don't want to have that kind of relationship. Even if I think you're wrong.
Yo, what? Why would you hit me with that near the end? I literally admitted that I could be wrong. What?
No, I really appreciate that you're really like, you're open to learning, and I am too. Like, I don't think that I've reached the end of my learning journey by any means, and I want to be able to have productive conversations like this with you and others.
Yeah, no, that's very much what it is for me too. Like, look, we exist on the internet. Fucking people are always losing their shit at each other, right? Like, everybody, the internet thrives on angry debates and shit. But ultimately, my point has always been, you're never at the end of your learning journey. Never once.
Yeah.
And that's...
And, like, you shouldn't be.
True.
Like, even if you are a master, you've got, like, whatever, 10,000 hours in your field or whatever. Like, you should still do, like, continuing education. There's new information arising always, and, like, you for one, you want to maintain neuroplasticity into your old age, and learning new things is literally how you do that.
Yeah. Perspectives. Yeah. So he got me, you know what, Lady Badass? I'll fucking boot you today. I won't actually boot you. But I know you're about to go stream. As I think you are.
No, I was just chilling, but I don't want to take all your time.
Okay.
Thank you for entertaining me in my Stalinist ways.
I'm not gonna fucking condemn you. Like, there's always gonna be some nigga who's further left than I am, and I'm pretty far left. But like, there's always gonna be those more people who are a different form of leftist, and I do believe in Rainbow Coalition, so I'm gonna ask them what's going on, and I'm gonna talk to them, and I'm gonna fucking understand things a little better. Like, I came away with this with more understanding of Stalin himself, and I hesitate to say white MLism, but it's accurate. Like, I'm coming with this from a more white Marxist-Leninism point of view.
I mean, I do try to be like decolonial in my approach too, which is like why I think we should still support Russia in their fight against imperialism today. Why we should support Iran, even if you don't agree with how religious they are. Like, the primary contradiction is America. Like,
yeah, as Lady Badass says, different spices of leftism. Like, we're all leftists at the end of the day, and we can recognize, at least I hope, when bad shit happens and learn from that mistakes. But like you were saying earlier, we can also learn from the good, and that's what I was trying to emphasize too, is that we can take the good from things, and we can incorporate the good from shit into our movements. Like, there is no brand of leftism that is the correct path, I guess, like the one path forward. There is no singular path forward. Yeah,
I think it has to be tailored to our unique conditions. And, there has never been a successful revolution in America. The closest thing, I mean, like the U.S., I mean. So the closest thing we can look to is Cuba. I think is going to be like our vanguard if we have one for the Americas, and it has been for a long time.
I agree. Like even be well. Okay, actually, I kind of disagree. Now that I realize it. Now that I think about it. I guess longest standing is absolutely Cuba. Is that fair to say? Because there were other movements in America to push back against colonial efforts. They just happened to get bombed to fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to minimize by any means all of the indigenous fights that are still ongoing. You know, it's of course there's a huge genocide that was and is happening against Indigenous Americans, and they are still fighting to defend their land, water, and lives. And that, you know, I think can be incorporated into our fight as we seek to decolonize the U.S. itself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We're on the same page. That's why I said there's no singular correct path forward.
Yeah, I think it's going to be varied. I think a variety of tactics is absolutely great. I happen to believe that, you know, we should organize into a vanguard party and then educate from there. But, you know, I'm all for your decentralized approach. You know, you can operate in your space, and I don't really see a problem with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you too. Like it's one of those things. But I tend to come from like a grassroots approach, right? That that it should be people who are on the ground that are helping with these parties or help lead these parties. Because once you move to just like a polished politician, you start losing that kind of grounded element.
Yeah, I mean, like, again, like, the way that it works, say, in China, is, like, it is genuinely consulting individuals and community leaders, faith leaders within the village to ask specifically what they want, right? And that's taken to the local party, and it's elevated upwards. It's not a means, like, of top-down, right? It is a means to incorporate everyone.
Yeah, so we're this is why I say we're gonna be on the same side of most shit,
right?
You know. So like I said, I just tend to believe that it works better when it is from the ground up instead of the top, instead of like.
But I'm saying it's the same thing.
No, yeah,
you can call me authoritarian, but like. The authority I want is for like the collective, like the whole of the people.
I think we're getting a little pedantic now, because we're ultimately saying the same thing. We want what is best for the whole of the people. We just disagree, and not even a hard disagree on like how it can be achieved. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just curious what you mean by like ground up, because like, again, like that's how the parties are structured. You know, like you have your local, provincial, and then you have like the state, you know, party.
Yeah. So when I speak of ground up, I'm talking like on the state party level. It should be the people who have grown up, I guess, on the smaller, the local party level, I guess.
Oh, it is. It is. They send their own delegates to the central party, the central committee.
Okay.
So, like, in your own village, you would select people to be your representative that goes and speaks on your behalf.
That makes sense. I guess this comes the conflict with, like, how I view the larger government should be anyway. Which is something that...
At all?
Huh?
Like, you don't want it to be there?
Oh, no. I agree that it should be there. But that it should come from the people. There should be no, like, politician class, for example. It should be a bunch of confederacies working together and going like, okay, this is our rough boundary. We should make sure everyone has like basic needs, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we have basic needs, we have common laws, and that's it. And if people have like an issue, we can address it from there.
Yeah. So I think if we were to succeed in overthrowing the U.S. government, I think we should look at something like this. This map has, I think I've showed this to you before. The overlapping nations.
Yeah, this is the one. Yep. All right.
The indigenous nations, right? So like,
yeah.
Depending on where you are, you might have to coalesce with various different groups, right? Like, of course, like it's going to be particular to your locality, but like to some extent, like I said, like Cuba should be the vanguard for the Americas. Like I do think we should be internationalist in that way.
Yeah, that's where international communalism comes from.
Yeah. And we see Cuba doing that by like sending doctors, and China does the same. DPRK to Vietnam.
No, I agree. We're on the same page. And even looking at this map, for those who don't know, this is the indigenous nations like treaties map. This is how I do agree with this method of running like the larger Turtle Island continent. Like that's just me.
Right. And like there were various confederacies before the colonization of America that
we only see
had.
y'all. Oh, here I'll minimize. Don't hate me. I'm gonna minimize you.
That's okay. Show chat. It's a cool map.
If
they're still expanding for other continents, but like North America's mostly covered.
What the? I don't know why it's showing the wrong window. Anyway, there you go. This is what I mean.
Streamer.
These are all different treaties and confederacies that all work together. Learning guidance from when I accepted my worldview would be. Are you? Oh, that's not at me, is it? I don't think so. I was tagged earlier. It sounds like this black anarchism has more in common with socialism than which white people anarchism? What?
Thanks for being here, Emergent.
Oh, that. Okay. Bring Lenny back? I'm
sorry. Look, listen, I'm not saying that I condone any adventurous action, and you shouldn't do that. What I'm talking about is the historical necessity for revolution, which is undeniable.
True. It things like revolution are going to happen regardless. It just depends on who is doing the revolution,
Right. Yeah.
And it depends on who is currently being targeted at this time. I do believe that like anti-black racism is hitting a high that hasn't been seen in a long time. I do believe that it is really bad. I do believe it is going to lead to certain actions that may or may not be condoned by the Japanese government. Or I guess the Chinese government, I should say.
Oh, I was gonna say, whoa, those are really different. I'm like,
yeah, my bad.
Japanese imperialism is making a comeback. Also, if you haven't been tuned in,
that's why I went somewhere else.
Wow.
That's why I went to go somewhere else with that.
It's just a big side tangent. We have been remilitarizing Japan to a really scary extent. In an effort to surround China, with also Taiwan and South Korea, and so obviously we're installing, the most imperialist fuckers, like Takaichi right now is the PM. Did you see when Trump, she was meeting with Trump in the Oval Office, and he literally said, Well, you guys know about a surprise. You didn't tell me about Pearl Harbor.
What the fuck?
Yeah, literally, her face was priceless. She was just like really big-eyed, like what the fuck?
Jesus. All right. Remember Pearl Harbor. Okay. Well, I was gonna watch. Almost like Complaining Laney. That's you. I was
not
gonna
on
watch
again. Not streaming.
Not today. I was gonna watch Shoe on Head after this. I'm not sure if I have the energy.
Oh my god! You did not just confuse me with Shoe and Head. I'm so
I didn't
offended.
Confuse you. I didn't confuse you. I slipped. Fake difference.
Just because we're a brunette, you can't.
No, that's not at all. My
all
brain got
women
confused.
look the same.
That's not what I said. I just got confused.
It's all good. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great chat, and we should do a part 2 when we revisit our literature.
I would love to read more and to give you a more in-depth analysis on this.
Excellent.
So,
yeah, let me know what they say about Deng in Pan-Africanist thought.
Yeah, absolutely. Because he never came up, so I don't know. I've never seen him. So
yeah.
All right.
Yeah, maybe it's not a thing.
Maybe something. I'll let you go.
Good night. Bye.
Night.